Hello, welcome to Trade Game. This is Daniel. It's January 10th, and we're here to talk about cryptocurrency and cryptocurrency trading. Um, so I'm doing this video because we're going to talk about an Ethereum bot that I've been talking about potentially starting here. Um, so we're going to kind of talk about what we may do in respect to trying to open a sort of a higher leverage bot, which is what I'm trying to accomplish. I'm trying to figure out, parse out how to do this with higher leverage bots. Although I may sort of dial back leverage to maybe 20 times leverage. I've got a couple of 20, 25 times leverage bots going that are doing all right so far. But I'm a little concerned that trying to make them too squishy might also be uh, less than optimal. So we are doing a video to talk about opening an Ethereum bot, but we're looking at the Bitcoin chart because why are we looking at the Bitcoin chart? Well, because Bitcoin is still king in the crypto market. Um, and so what happens with Bitcoin and Ethereum being the second biggest cap coin in the Ethereum market, they correlate pretty significantly often. Um, so with Bitcoin, it looks like we've been setting lower lows, and we set a low high here. So we're kind of, it looks like in a ranging pattern. Um, Previously, when we had discussed opening this Ethereum bot, Bitcoin was on this leg here, and based off of sort of what I had been hearing around the community from other people who have had many, many more years of experience than I understand this is. I've only been doing this about maybe, gosh, a little bit less than a year. Say a year. Like in 2024, it was when in like January of 2024, was when I first started buying and doing stuff with cryptocurrency. Um, so I don't have the benefit of those years of experience. But some of those people who have been doing this for quite a bit longer than me, one of them, or some of them, were kind of saying or speculating that this may end up being the bottom for this correction here, and then we may be about to move to another area in price for Bitcoin on a more macro scale. And so being that we're in a bull market, um, a bull market where we've just seen a really big rise in price in this asset, which Bitcoin can sort of broadly reflects the whole crypto market, generally speaking. Currently, um, we we were ranging for a long, long time last year, after having quite a bit of excitement and growth very early in the year. Um, at around like 50,000 to $70,000 for Bitcoin, which is very high for Bitcoin compared to where it was before. But anyway, we're tracking this relative to the last bull market we were in. And then following the election, which had a very positive pro-crypto outcome, pro-market, pro-crypto generally outcome, we had a big move in Bitcoin and the whole crypto market as well. Or at least we had a big move in Bitcoin specifically up into a new area here. It set an all-time high at around $108,000. And is sort of doing some price exploration up here. So, that being the case, we seem to be kind of in a bearish mode right now. We've got some fair value gaps. Weird. Some fair value gaps that I've marked out here with rectangles on the weekly chart that have not really been. Wait, what's this top one? Oh yeah, I think that one thing that I had pointed out I was noticing is that this one might maybe, depending on how you define. I'm not sure if that's like, because technically the the way in the if the price dips down into this area at all, it's said to have satisfied the gap. But there's quite a bit of area here in which the market did not do its usual price exploration, and so it's the tendency when there's an inefficiency in the market like that is for it to want to come back down and revisit that area again. Just market dynamics and psychology, and market psychology too. People who are looking at Bitcoin and the crypto market as a whole on a larger time frame like this may be expecting this to Bitcoin to come down and revisit these areas and maybe shorting it accordingly, expecting that to happen, which will, because if everybody is doing that, but also if big institutional investors are doing that, then that will create selling pressure on Bitcoin and the market. So we may be moving down into one of these areas, but we also may be ranging in sort of a descending, in sort of a flag motion here, or perhaps kind of a wedge, like a downwards wedge. We'll have to kind of see how this goes on the weekly, but it'll take a little while for this all play out. So we're looking kind of bearish on the weekly, at least, or at least bearish in that we may be expecting a correction downwards in Bitcoin in coming weeks. If we are going to be ranging and not moving up to another price area, we may move up to like $120,000 or something for Bitcoin here in a bit. But for now, it would appear we may just sort of be ranging and doing price exploration, which does make sense. I mean, if you think about it, in this area while the market builds liquidity and kind of establishes a history of buying and selling and things being valued at this level or that level, before it finishes consolidating and then uses that consolidation to move upwards. So we're looking bearish overall on Bitcoin on the weekly scale. We also seem to be looking bearish on daily time frame. So for Ethereum, what this kind of means is that we're looking for the bottom, right? We're trying to buy the dip, or rather, we're waiting to see it because we're going to go long on Ethereum, right? And we're doing this with a very high leverage bot, so it's going to be very prone to liquidation. And so the idea is to really try to catch it on an upwards move. So since we're looking quite bearish in general in the short term for the market, for starting this Ethereum bot and kind of for a lot of other bots that are going to start, we may need to wait a little bit to start them because we need to wait for a reasonable dip to actually start going along. Being the case, but going to do TA for Ethereum, right? So Ethereum over the last year has done very well. But so we set an all-time high or something, or yeah, it was an all-time high for Ethereum back in March of last year at around $4,000 per Ethereum, and then ranged downwards here and got down to about $2,000 for Ethereum, and then came back up in the big rally following the election in November, which really, it's entirely this dip in the market right here really could be described as a period of uncertainty. There's always a period of uncertainty in the market leading up to big elections or big news events or things like that, which might affect the market. And so if there's a feeling of fear leading up to events over what might happen, or people are getting fearful, it tends to cause the market to kind of go down. And so regardless, speaking to the Americans who may see this video, regardless of which party came out ahead in the elections in the U.S., it's very likely we would have had a pump following the election, just because the resolution of uncertainty is actually quite significant to the market in terms of how people are feeling following an election, regardless of which way the election goes, pro-market or well, anyway, sure, but okay. So when it comes to Ethereum, unlike Bitcoin, in the bullish move following the election, Ethereum did not come up and reach a new price area. It did set an all-time high. I think it got a little bit higher than it had previously. So it did technically set an all-time high, but it didn't really get much above where it did back in March. Right? So that's not very impressive. And so we now have we have a double top for Ethereum on the weekly chart, essentially. So we'll kind of have to see where we're going here. I think that we got a little bit further down to go with Ethereum before it starts going back up. But but it is interesting that Ethereum has not moved up and done price exploration higher than its previous all-time high, up to like $5,000 or something, because a lot of us were expecting Ethereum to outperform Bitcoin. Maybe not by multiples of 2 or 3 or 4 times, but at least like 130 or maybe 130 times, like relative to Bitcoin. Like we're sort of expecting Ethereum to do well and do better than Bitcoin overall in this bull market, but not by a huge amount. So the fact that this has come up and just sort of like formed a double top and not really gone up with Bitcoin is interesting. So Ethereum may not have as bright a future as was once speculated. But we are still in a bull market. It also may simply be that Ethereum is just in a longer phase of consolidation, and once more attention, or if more attention, or once it starts to move away from Bitcoin out to other things, then all of this phase of consolidation will pay off, and we'll move to a new area, a new higher price area. But if that move is coming up soon, if that move is loading, then we need to, it would be advantageous to try and seek entries kind of near the bottom of where this is ranging, 2,000, 3,000. On the weekly. And we are at $3,200 currently, right? But we also might get to kind of down to this range and find support. And if we do, okay, it's 3,000. If we do find support, that might be significant. So, looking at this on the daily charts, going back to last year, we were in consolidation, ranging motion throughout the year. Election happened, news events around the market, relevant to the market happened, and a big spree of buying through November and December. MicroStrategy was buying a lot in December, I know, but it was kind of only MicroStrategy, and this run after the election was pretty well expected. But the fact that MicroStrategy did as much buying as it did in December, and we have all these pro-crypto, pro-Bitcoin things happening, and this didn't push Ethereum and Bitcoin and stuff into a higher area, is not a really bullish sign for these assets. It's a bearish sign, because it means there's enough selling pressure. There are enough people selling now. But the thing is, in the bigger scale here, you also have a lot of people who would have bought into cryptocurrency during the last bear market. Well, of course, this would have been true before as well. I think that getting up to the psychological level of $100,000 may be enough to cause people who got in at like $20,000 or $15,000 to be like, okay, yeah, I got a good return. I'm just gonna get out now and sell now, and then other people panic selling and stuff. But that would just be a consolidation phase in the market, really. So, on the daily timescale, we were down leading to the election, uncertainty, resolution, a lot of buying happening in November for Ethereum. So we've got trade gaps here unfilled. With an area of support resistance around $2,700. But we're also approaching, we're approaching this level of support right around $3,000. So historically, this is an area where we found some support. But you do want to think some of this gap right here from back in November, the market's probably going to want to fill that in. So we may be down for more of a downward motion to come down and touch this area right here. And you notice as I'm doing this, when I'm saying we make a right here, as I'm just imagining in my head where this might go, on the left side, this correlates with this area of resistance previously. And so when we're talking about the fair value gaps, or this gap sort of not being satisfied in the market, this is what I mean. But we will, of course, have to just sort of see what might happen perhaps. Maybe. So, yeah. Not, oh, I'm sorry. I should continue to talk, explain what I'm doing. So, guys, we're looking to enter along with the spot. Let's just say we want to start the spot off going along, and we want it to have a fighting chance. So in order to do that, we kind of need to open this during a period when the bot is when the price movement is going up, since we are going along. There will be a time, mind you, in the next year or two when I will start saying we're going to be doing this, but we're going to be doing it shorting. We're going to be going down instead of up. But we are in a bull market right now. So at the moment, or at least we think we're in a bull market. And as long as we think we're in a bull market, we're in a bull market, I suppose. So on a daily time frame for Ethereum, it does kind of appear that we are going down. Right, there's November to perhaps satisfy some of these inefficiencies. Yes. But the question is, how far down, for how long? Well, okay. No. So there's the low from right there. So let's speculate, shall we? Or I am going to speculate that we're trading in a channel, kind of a, call it a downwards flag, if you want to call it that, sort of situation. With Ethereum, and we're trying to sort of satisfy this area that's from this sudden break of structure here, right? And so consolidation phase. So we're ranging downwards. This is the daily time frame. And we had a bearish move recently. When we started, we had previously started this bot with a trigger value, and trigger value was kind of like around here, and the bot got liquidated. Right? This is unfortunate, but that's okay. Every lesson has a price, and so what is this lesson that we've learned here? Well, became more careful about setting trigger price than I had been. And also maybe just don't use a trigger price for these higher leverage bots. Where did this red line come from? We will see. So, moving in so far a downward channel for Ethereum, and there's a fair trade value gap. Looks like, or a trade. I'm always calling this the wrong thing. I'm telling you. Fair value. There's no fair value gap. Goodness. Between like $3,489 or $90 and $3,630, created by this bearish movement that may be revisited, at least partially, at some point, perhaps soon. But we are in a still bearish pattern, though, with Ethereum. So we're not like super looking to see this filled. Because we're probably gonna keep it on for a bit, or if it does get filled, if this trade gap does come up and this breaks out of its channel, then that would be amazing. But like that hasn't happened yet. So if when that happens, that will be cool. So we've got an area of pretty strong support right around here. Although, remember, the whole thing with the gap, mind the gap, is that it's going to want to touch down there where there isn't much support. So there are some signs that perhaps Ethereum may be reversing direction, specifically on the daily chart here. You can see, if you follow my here, that 2 days ago, something, Ethereum set a higher low relative to this low right here. That being the case, unless it decides it wants to break down again, which it might. If this support holds, then Ethereum could potentially move more to the upside to try to satisfy this fair value gap. The only thing is, yes. Well, so there's that. But the thing is, remember we were saying earlier that we're feeling like we're in more of a bearish kind of sentiment, and more of a bearish move on the more macro scale on the higher time frames. So what we would perhaps want to look and see with Ethereum is what has been happening more recently with Ethereum, smaller time scale. So we can look at the hourly chart, right? Same lines, same chart, same information, just different candle structure. Here's the gap that was created that I was talking about. And here is this little, perhaps, channel we've been trading in, going down. And we had a break, a very interesting, strong run of green candles. And then after that, we can bend down, correct it down, and set a higher low than before. Not higher than this one, but higher this one. So this is interesting, and also we challenged the top of this channel, and then fell down. Oh no! And then came back up and challenged, and support, and now we're not sure what we're doing. So the price action is kind of toying with this line of resistance right now. We're not sure. My speculation would be that we may be about to set another high low, right? Kind of somewhere maybe around the level of, or probably since this one was lower, now we'd probably set a high low on this side a little bit higher on the 1 hour would be my thinking for Ethereum soon. Let's see what we, oh gosh, okay. Where is my stuff that I'm looking for? Here we go. He's there, and we'll put that on too. Since I got the menu open. Okay. Our indicator, my wonderful squeeze momentum indicator that I like to fiddle with, also suggests that we're in a downtrend and perhaps even getting close to the bottom. Oh wait, why over there? Yeah. And also our smooth Hikanashi suggesting that we are in a downtrend as well. Maybe not quite at the bottom though. We're getting out of this phase, this transitional phase here, and kind of looks to me like we print another red candle or two next couple hours before reaching the apex of this bearish momentum. So if you're looking for an entry point for a long, probably the next hour or two, if we think it's going to find support, perhaps somewhere around $3,200, something like that, you know? And have to really just kind of have to see. This is all, it's me speculating stuff anyway. But so, if we're thinking that it's going to be above that, so the next hour or two, so maybe there. Ooh, that's weird. It's a teeny tiny circle. That's not gonna work. Yep. All right. Right there. And okay, that's fine. Yes. And a little bit higher than the previous one. Say maybe right about the level of that red candle on the left there. Sort of, so it's snapping too. Okay. All right. Boop. Silly me. Might the price action reach that point? Who knows? But if you wanted to think about doing like a high leverage scalping kind of thing, going long, and you'd want to watch it the entire time, I would think. You can kind of look to maybe start around that time. But all of this is very interesting, and we can kind of see if this pans out in the way that I'm sort of speculating that it might here today, in which case Ethereum would take begin to see movement to the upside to satisfy this gap in the shorter term, perhaps. Go to the daily chart. If it's going to do that within this sort of downwards channel that we seem to be in. Right? So, if we have indeed set a new low high here, which is optimistic, but if we have, then we may see a swing to the upside here and see this thing sort of test or challenge the upper resistance of this channel. Its price action, maybe more over here in the coming days. But also, if there's a positive news event, or if Bitcoin or some other associated asset starts to experience a really significant rally, Ethereum may also rally, or if just something happens that's unusually favorable to Ethereum, it may get press coverage for something. You never really know. It may rally. Then we'll just kind of have to see. The market will move the way the market will move, but also outside, real world things, of course, influence this. So we may start a new bot on this here soon, is what I'm saying. Going along on Ethereum, but gonna have to kind of think about it. The only thing, because we are still in overall a downwards trend, so it's sort of how badly do you really want to start a new thing, a new long, when you still think that you're going down, because it's going to have to fight against the current of the market right now. If it is indeed, if we are indeed going down overall, to survive, and all that's what all the other bots I have going right now are doing. It's just tedious. And if we do see another swing to the upside, but it's not, if we're not seeing better signs of strength of the in Bitcoin, I may close out the other bots that we have open, and wait and see if we can maybe start these guys back up when we're at a more reasonable bottom on the macro scale, not just locally day to day. Right. Okay. Well, this is this is Daniel for the Trade Game. Thank you for watching, listening. Please like and subscribe. It helps to grow our community. God be with you. Please be good to one another, and I will talk to you later.